Hello guys, welcome back to our podcast, Grim Reading Kings, where we talk about anything and everything spooky and strange.
I promise you stay quiet.
I knew you would.
I was really into your intro. I thought you were doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
I just appreciated it.
I was going to say the flow was brilliant and you just stopped.
Yeah, because I told you guys to like...
But like, how do we...
I
just don't know how to join in naturally without like...
But
Yes, Sammy, yes! This is great. This is well said. Yes, spooky, yeah.
Scary skilled. Good evening.
I'm keeping rings.
We are the Grim Reading.
Sure, let's do it.
Keep saying like I do apologise. Right. I've got a metronome. What was that? Anyway, hi. In this series, we are discussing murder mystery.
Yeah.
I'm talking really loud, so I need to like not talk so loud because you're quiet, aren't you?
That's fine. I'm gonna shout. It's so unnatural. I can't do it. I'm from a really loud family, so I just like sit back and I'm like, okay, hi guys. Yes, that's right, guys. I'm just used to doing it.
Okay.
These mics
Surrounded by
pick
loud
up
people.
bass so bad. Like,
Yeah.
I think because Tamsin was so loud then, it did the opposite. Because usually you're really loud and Tamsin's really quiet,
yeah.
and it goes like. But anyway, yeah. So this series is murder mystery, and today is my story.
Oh,
So welcome back.
sorry, I shot my eyes in my face.
Welcome.
If you're new here, hello, welcome. I hope you enjoy our chaotic podcast.
What do you mean, Kale?
Don't know what you're talking about. That was my finger cracking. I do apologise. I need to stop messing with it. But yeah, hi. I know I've said hello 3 times now, but I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. You're listening to this podcast on Monday. We also have a Patreon, if you're interested, where you see us in video. All uncut as well. There's no editing going on, so that was Shelby shaking off. Shelby is our dog. Yeah, so Monday you'll hear us through podcast.
Just imagine like
And
a
also-
man shaking up in the corner.
I was on a roll then, guys.
Sorry.
Shelby's
Funny.
my uncle. He's just shaking off.
I'm great, guys.
It's Granddad in the corner, just shaking.
I'm so sorry.
No, you were doing so well.
I was doing so well. See?
I just cracked up because it's just the way you sounded. Like, Shelby shaking off. That's our dog. Who else would it be?
Might be our cat.
That's our budgie just going mad.
I mean, to be fair, budgies do make a lot of noise. Anyway, you're listening to us on podcast today, and we also have a Patreon that goes live on a Monday as well, which is a video, as well as obviously the story, completely uncut. So it's raw footage. You see the chaos behind what is going on, basically, and how bitchy we are to each other. Off camera, but it's still on camera, so it's like not edited out, basically.
So candid.
Yeah. Candid bitchin'. And then on Friday, you get the edited episode on YouTube, so it has the actual video, and we do little pop-ups of pictures and stuff. So you can
Strips
kind
the
of...
fat away.
You're calling me fat.
Not fat, okay?
Big
Big
My
bone.
daddy, I do what I want.
Oh, I forgot about that episode. I was trying to
Oh
think
my
what you said
God.
as well. Yeah. Yeah, today is my story. We'll get back into it now. And my story is about the child killer Mary Bell. So, are we happy?
I'm happy. I can't wait.
Very.
Very happy. Cool. Mary Flora Bell was born on the 26th of May 1956 in Newcastle, England. Her mother, Elizabeth Bell, known as Betty, was only 17 when she gave birth and was a well-known local prostitute. When Mary was born, the hospital staff attempted to place her into Betty's arms, to which she refused and shouted, "Take the thing away from me." We do not know who Mary's biological father was, but when she was a baby, her mother married a man called William Bell, known as Billy, who played the father figure in Mary's life. He was a violent alcoholic and habitual criminal with an arrest record for crimes including armed robbery. Did I say that right?
Habitual?
Yeah. I said habitual, that's right.
I don't even know what it means.
I guess it's
I did Google
a
it.
habit of
Yeah,
like a common...
Right.
You just
okay,
do
it's
it.
pretty much right there.
like picking your nose is a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Mary grew up in the Scotswood area of Newcastle, which at the time was very poor and run down. As a baby, toddler and young child, she frequently suffered injuries in householder accidents. in household accidents while alone with her mother, which led her family to believe that either her mother was deliberately negligent or intentionally attempting to harm or kill her daughter. On one occasion, Betty dropped her daughter from a first-floor window. On another occasion, she plied Mary with sleeping pills. So just give you a bit of a gist of
what she was like,
what she was doing. She is also known to have once sold Mary to a lady outside an adoption centre who couldn't have children of her own, but Mary's aunt travelled across Newcastle to reclaim her from the lady and return her to Betty. Despite the negligence and abuse of her child, Betty refused repeated offers from her family to take custody of Mary, and when Mary was 4 years old, it is alleged that her mother began allowing her clients to sexually abuse her. Growing up, Mary struggled to make friends, and when she was 4 years old, she became friendly with a 5-year-old girl who lived on the same street. Unfortunately, this girl was hit and killed by a bus in front of Mary while they were playing in the street. So you can imagine how traumatizing that was for Mary, as well as everything else she had to put up with.
it's wild.
So yeah, she's 4 years old and she's already dealing with like...
It's insane.
Bet
All
she's
this-
hard as nails, though.
Well. Both at home and at school, Mary exhibited numerous signs of disturbed and unpredictable behaviour, including sudden mood swings and chronic bedwetting. She would be too scared to go to sleep at night, fearing she would wet the bed, as when she did, her mother would rub her face in it and hang her bedding out for the whole neighbourhood to see. Mary did have one friend, and her name was Norma Bell. Although they shared the same surname, they were not related in any way. Norma was 2 years older than Mary and lived next door to her. They were joined at the hip and did everything together. Mary was smarter and was kind of the leader of them, and whatever she said, Norma would do. When Mary was 10 and Norma was 12, they took a little 3-year-old boy to get some sweets from the shop, and not even an hour later, they walked into a local pub with the little boy who was bleeding from his head. They said that they had found him and that he had simply fallen from a ledge. Police and an ambulance were called, but there were no repercussions for Mary and Norma, and their boy did make a full recovery. But Mary did later admit to pushing this little boy off the ledge herself. The next day, there were 3 girls playing in a sandpit, and Mary and Norma attacked them unprovoked. The girls said that Mary suddenly snapped and started to strangle one of the girls and shoved sand down her throat. Norma appeared disturbed by this and threw up, which distracted Mary, meaning the girl could get away. She then decided to obviously make a move on to the second girl. When the second girl got away, she turned to the third girl and said, "What happens if you choke someone? Do they die?" And then she put her hands around the girl's throat and started choking her to the point that she was actually turning purple. One of the girls had marks on her throat for a few days after, and her mum actually reported this to the police. However, nothing was done about it. Martin Brown was 4 years old and was a mischievous little boy who once decided he wanted a swimming pool in his bedroom, so he filled up a drawer with water which ended up overflowing. But he was always smiling and laughing. He was very cheeky and everyone who knew him loved him. On the 25th of May 1968, Martin woke early before his parents and went downstairs for some milk and cookies and brought some back up for his younger sister who he shared a room with. A couple of hours later, he woke his parents for breakfast and then he was just out and about playing all day. It was quite common for children of all ages to be outside playing without an adult supervision around this time. That's meant to be a full stop. Around this time. Early afternoon, Martin went to his aunt's house to ask for some money so he can go to the shop to get some sweets, and shortly after he did leave the shop with the sweets. Nearby, there were some derelict buildings, and not long after Martin was seen leaving the shop, two boys were exploring these buildings for some scrap wood when they came across Martin, led on his back, arms spread out, blood and saliva coming from his head and a bottle of pills next to him. The boys shouted out to some workmen nearby, who called an ambulance. The ambulance arrived and they attempted to give CPR, but they were too late. A post-mortem exam was carried out, but nothing was found. The police believed this was just a freak accident and that Martin had died of natural causes, at 4 years old.
Sure.
Natural. His mum said that Martin was a bit of a scaredy cat. He wouldn't even walk down the stairs on his own as he fell down them one time, so they thought he may have just died of fright. The day after Martin's death, it was Mary's birthday, and both Mary and Norma were at Norma's house playing. When Norma's dad walked in on Mary strangling Norma's younger sister. There's so many Normas in that sentence. I do apologise. He shouts at her to stop and tells the girls to cut it out and play nicer, but did not do anything about it. The next day, a local nursery was broken into and trashed. Although nothing was stolen, there were some notes left which read, "I murder so that I may come back. Fuck off, we murder. Watch out, fanny and faggot. We did murder Martin Brown. Fuck off, you bastard."
There's a nice ring to it, that one.
Do you know what? I like that, yes. Beautiful. It's like a poem.
Wow. Like, instead of live, laugh, love.
Fuck off, we murder.
You bastard.
Watch out, fanny and faggot. Over the next few weeks, Mary frequently visited Martin's house, asking his mum if she missed Martin, and if she was crying about it. She also asked to see Martin, to which his mum said, "No, he is dead." Mary responded saying, "I know, I want to see him in his coffin," whilst smiling and giggling. At this point, Martin's mum shut the door in Mary's face. 9 weeks later, on the 31st of July, Brian Howie was 3 years old and was last seen playing outside with a dog. Dinner time came around and he didn't come home. The whole neighbourhood was out searching for him, including Mary and Norma, who were said to be too happy and laughing whilst searching. When it was getting too late, they called the police to report Brian missing. Just before midnight, his body was found in wasteland, covered in grass and weeds. He had scratches all over his body and a couple of puncture wounds. He even had the letter M carved into his stomach, but it looked as if it was originally an N and then an extra line carved after to make it an M. The same detective who dealt with Martin Brown's case was on this case, and he noticed that the way Brian was killed, it didn't use much force, so it was likely a child that did this. So thousands of children were questioned. Mary and Norma were questioned many times as their stories were unclear with messy answers.
How do they like? No, oh, it was an N, and then he had his line. How do they come across that?
Probably like the healing of it.
Also, like N, they went off for an hour, come back.
Yeah, something like that, possibly.
Also, if you do a capital N, the end one is like straight. So
Yeah.
you would do like that, and then you'd have to do one that came out, so it
Yeah,
would look
true.
misshapen, like a
Oh, that's
Y.
true. Yes, it'd be like an N. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I didn't actually think of that.
I'm a genius.
When being questioned on one occasion, Mary suddenly remembered seeing an 8-year-old boy playing with Brian and saw him hit Brian around the face and neck. She also said she saw him with a silver pair of scissors, which the boy used to try and cut off cats' tails.
Mm.
This description of the scissors matched the exact pair that were found by Brian's body. However, nobody knew this, only the detectives and the killer. The 8-year-old boy was cleared as he was at the airport with his family at the time of Brian's murder, so it's impossible to be him. When being questioned, Norma said that she was playing with her sisters at the time of the murder. However, the other children that were questioned said they saw Norma with Mary. Norma was then taken to the police station to give a statement, where she confessed that Mary took her to see Brian's body and told her that she killed him by squeezing his neck and pushed up his lungs, because that's how you kill someone.
It's not wrong.
I mean, strangling does the job, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
whatever. Mary then ran her fingers over Brian's blue lips and stated she enjoyed it and lifted up his top to show Norma the carving on his tummy. She even showed Norma where she hid the razor, which was under a concrete block. The detective asked Norma if she would show him where the razor was hidden, so they went down to the site and the razor was exactly where Norma had said, under the concrete block. After this, the detective went to Mary's home for questioning, and Mary was very defensive and agitated the whole time, and even threatened to get a solicitor, which is wild for, how old is she at this point? 11?
Yeah.
When the police told Mary that Norma had shown them where she hid the razor, Mary even threatened to kill Norma. But they couldn't hold her. They didn't have any definite? Is it definite?
Definitive?
Yeah, I think that's what it's meant to be, definitive evidence. For all the police knew, Norma could have made it up and pinned it on Mary. At Brian's funeral, the detective was looking out for anyone acting suspicious, and noticed Mary seeming way too happy, laughing and rubbing her hands. and at this moment he knew he had to bring her in for questioning. He arrested Mary and Norma Bell that afternoon. He first arrested Mary and brought her in for questioning, and she tried to pin the whole thing on Norma and that Norma killed Brian. During Mary's interview, he brought up Martin Brown and told her he believed the two deaths were connected. He also brought up the nursery break-in and the notes left, to which she straight up admitted it, but tried to blame it all on Norma. That evening, Mary and Norma had been arrested for Brian's murder, but they did not have enough evidence to convict them for Martin's murder also. By the 21st of August, the investigation was complete. The police contacted the girls' school to ask for Mary and Norma's work so they can compare the handwriting with the handwriting on the notes left at the nursery the day of the break-in. They found that the handwriting did indeed match, and not only that, but they also found a story Mary had written the day after Martin's death, along with a drawing of Martin's body, the workman, and the bottle of pills labelled tablets. However, the bottle of pills that were found next to Martin's body was never publicly disclosed. No one knew about the pill bottle.
Why are they trying to cover that up?
Fibres from the girls' clothing was found on both bodies, so they were charged with the murder of Brian Howie and Martin Brown. During the trial, while most people considered Mary guilty, there was some doubt about Norma's guilt. Betty, Mary's mum, was very dramatic during the trial, sobbing really loudly and storming out of the court, to then walk back in minutes later. Norma's reactions to evidence seemed quite normal for a child with nervous tears, whereas Mary seemed emotionally blank and unbothered. Due to Mary's lack of emotion in court, she was examined by a number of psychiatrists who said that she displayed psychopathic tendencies. That's right, isn't it? Psychopathic? Yeah. Norma Bell was acquitted on the grounds that she was manipulated by Mary into doing the things she did, and didn't understand the weight of what she was doing because she was simple-minded and she couldn't understand that what Mary was making her do.
Wow.
Mary was convicted of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility, as she displayed classic symptoms of psychopathy. Is that right?
Psychopathy?
Symptoms of psycho.
I've been there.
The judge described her as dangerous and said she posed a very grave danger to other children. She was sentenced to be detained at Her Majesty's pleasure, basically meaning indefinitely. And then I didn't want to go too much because she's still alive now, and she's under a pseudonym. So I didn't want to. That's where I wanted to end that story, basically. But yeah, that's the story of Mary Bell.
So
she was 10 years old doing that.
I don't get Norma didn't know what she's doing. She's simple-minded. You know what
I guess because she was so young and she'd known Mary for so long, I guess they just thought, if it was up to her, she wouldn't have done any of that. And on her own, she wouldn't do any of that, so she's not a threat.
She was simple-minded, so she didn't know what was right and wrong. Maybe she did, but she didn't know the weight of her actions or something.
Yeah.
Still, though.
Yeah. Still. Well, you would hope that people have, even that young, you'd have something in your brain to say, don't kill people.
You would think so, but if at 4 years old she's being abused by not only her mother, but strangers as well.
Yeah. Well, I meant Norma, though.
Oh, I see.
Being told to do stuff. Obviously, but yeah, that's a good point. Mary,
I can...
being brought up like that.
I mean, yeah, crazy.
But yeah. I mean, you can't really excuse her for what her actions when she was 10 years old because of what happened when she was 4, but she didn't really have an ideal upbringing.
No, I wonder if the strangling comes from the sexual abuse, though, because it's quite a common thing. And if she was being used in prostitution at 4 years old, imagine all the things that have been done to her over her life.
That's true.
So I wonder if she's if that's connected to that, because obviously she did move on. She did become a nurse.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I didn't look into.
Yeah.
Any further, so
she obviously, I didn't know what happens to psychopathy.
Yeah.
Psychoness. As you get older, I guess you can. I think she had a lot of treatment, so.
Yeah, when you're younger, you can kind of grow out things, can't you?
Yeah,
so I don't know if it's the same
sort of thing. You could grow out of being a murderer, but I guess.
Maybe she got out of her system.
Yeah. Because she went on then to help people and want to help people, so something was wrong with her childhood, which you can tell.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe she was doing it all for attention when she was younger.
Yeah, it could be that. Or it could be that she was already doing things sexual at that age. So it was like, how far can I push it? Because a kid shouldn't be having sex. So she might have felt like, well, if I can do that, I can do this and I can do that. And
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because I can't remember which boy it was, but with one of them, she did mangle their privates.
That was Martin.
Right.
Yeah.
After they had died. So not while
I didn't realise after they died.
Yeah. So.
Or was it Martin? No, it might have been Brian, because Brian was the one that was found in the
legs, like open on it.
No, that was Martin, because he was found in the house with the pills.
Right.
And then Brian was the one with the carving on his tummy.
Right. Yeah, I think it was the.
So I think it was him, because they obviously had scissors and a little blade as well.
I think she crushed them. I think she crushed his privates, but I honestly can't remember.
No.
But that also brought me back to.
Yeah.
I mean, the sex thing has got us screwed
sexual
up,
organ.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think with that normal. I think like your brain goes through so much like horrible stuff. It just goes full circle. Nothing can like phase you anymore if you don't crack. You kind of like your
brain. You mean Mary? Mary was the one who did it, and then Norma was the simple one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But yeah, she's gone through that.
Yeah.
And then now she's a nurse. Her brain just like fixed itself. Like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she became an adult, she realised, because she didn't have a father, and her mum was obviously not really there.
Yeah.
Or was okay with the bad stuff, so she didn't really have a role model that was saying, "Don't do this stuff; it's bad. And this is good. This is bad."
No.
So she's just left to her own devices, and that's what she did.
Yeah.
God damn.
So wild.
I don't think there's. Obviously, there's the case of the two boys who did in the 90s.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, but there's not.
James
Bolger, is it?
Bolger.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh my god, that was the worst case ever.
Yeah.
So one of them has been released now, but they won't. They obviously are so. They won't give away their new names or their faces or anything. But one of the guys' faces got leaked.
Did it?
Because the guy who's still in prison, he is like awful. He's, I think he's a bit of a pedo as well.
Oh, for sake.
Well, I mean, they obviously did a lot of sexual things to him.
Yeah. But
they were children, so you can change. Like, I don't know how it works, but you
can get lots of help when you're young.
Yeah.
When you're
But he's still in prison because he shouldn't be allowed out. He's not fit for
maybe
being out. But I can't remember, his picture got out and everyone was like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill him." No. So obviously he is. Well, they both are like the most hated people.
Yeah, I imagine that's what Mary was. Mary, when she was like back in the 50s.
Yeah, I mean, it must be really shocking as well. Imagine not only learning that your 4-year-old has been killed, but has been killed by an 11-year-old girl.
Yeah,
so crazy.
Yeah, mind blowing. It's mental.
Especially strangling. That is so weird. I don't know how else I thought she would do it, but strangling is so like. It's weird, but it sounds like a grown-up crime.
It does, yeah, it does, definitely. And I think you're right. Think about it a bit more with the strangling thing. Like, she killed him by strangling because maybe she had that done to her.
Yeah, that's what I think.
By the clients.
Yeah.
That's like an intimate killing, isn't it? Because you stare at them and like.
Yeah, that's true. Like, look through their head.
Hands, your skin to skin. It's not like a knife or anything.
No.
Maybe a knife was too much mess.
It could have been.
Maybe she thought she can get away with it by strangling because maybe she didn't realise that it actually causes bruising. Maybe she didn't know that. Don't know.
Yeah.
You see some of the strangulation pictures, you see like that. You can even see like the fingerprints or something, and you're so like intense.
Yeah, definitely.
Not like I just search that all the time or anything.
Strangulation pictures. No. Oh, good. But yeah.
I like that. Well, I like the story.
Yeah, it's like mind blowing. Yeah.
Wild. Strange.
Didn't like what happened, really. But
it's quite a deep one to start with.
I was saying, like, all of us were like.
Well, it's not even the start one. This is the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the last to end on.
Oh, yeah, it's the last. Go out on a bang, innit? Fucking hell.
There's like no resolve to that either. It's just like everything. It's just like down.
Down.
Well, I guess she grew out of it. She didn't become a murderer for life.
Yeah, now she's saving lives rather than taking lives.
I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Something positive we can take from the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything else? No,
my mind's kind of like all freaked out now. I'm all like in a weird like murder trance. Not like I'm gonna murder people, but like
you're gonna be scared of 11-year-old girls forever. Like that one can do it.
Just go on the street with a baseball bat. Bang! She looked at me.
She got her hands out and went to strangle me. Yeah. No.
Yeah, thank you, Sammy, for that story.
Yeah.
That's all right. Thank you, Tamsin, for giving me that story. Blame her. Yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed it.
And again, any input into the story?
Yeah,
comment below.
If there's anything that I missed, I mean, I did kind of leave out a little bit, but I just left in like what was
that was necessary.
the main gist basically of the story. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we shall see you, and you'll hear us, as I keep saying, because I keep forgetting, next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Terrifying wave.
Bye.